So this is a tutorial on how to use the graphing calculator to calculate your monthly payment for your mortgage and your car note. So using specific information, for example, how much the house costs, how much the car costs, for how many years, and what interest rate. So we can determine what is the monthly payment if we knew the interest rate, how much the house costs, how much the car costs, for example, and how many months we were expected to pay that car note or that mortgage. All right, so let's get started. So I have my graphic calculator right here that I downloaded. I have several graphic calculators, so I just downloaded this one to my computer so that you can see this demonstration. But the first thing you're going to do, and I have instructions on here, it says on a TI-84 Plus, go to apps. So let's look at the apps. It's actually kind of like in purple, which is cool. So I click on apps. Notice that finance comes up, number 1. So I'm going to click on the number 1 on the calculator here. Then notice that the number 1 TVM solver comes up. That's what we need. You can also download apps to your phone that's called TVM solver. So you can also calculate your monthly mortgage amount and car note using an app. So we have number 1 here. Let's click on number 1 again on the calculator. So say the house costs $177,000. So I'm going to put in $177,000 at some point. Then it says since the mortgage is for 30 years, we're going to say the mortgage is for 30 years now. Some mortgages are for 20 years, some are for 15 years. But for this example, we're going to use 30 years. That's what we're going to use for the capital N. That N just basically represents the number of months. So what would be the number of months in years? Well, we're going to use 30 times 12 because there are 12 months in a year. So we'll have 360 total months. So for capital N, we're going to put 360 because 30 years times 12 months is 360 months. The I percent represents the interest rate. So notice they have a percent sign by the I on your calculator. So they're saying just write it as the percent. Don't change it to a decimal. Just write it as the percent. I want you to use 4.25 for that. So what I'm going to do is click the down arrow to get to the I percent equals. So I'm going to put 4.25 here. Then I'm going to down arrow again. Notice I said for PV, put the amount of the loan. In this case, for example, if the house was $177,000, we're going to put 177,000. Your house may be more than that. Your house may be less than that. But put that in the PV row. PV equals. So make sure FV equals 0, P/Y equals 12, and C/Y equals 12, which represents the number of times payments are compounded per year. So again, for FV, make sure that's 0. PY, I'm going to change that 1 to a 1, 2, because that's payments per year. We're going to make 12 payments per year. And how often is it compounded? Also 12. So put 1, 2 there. All right, and it automatically did it on my calculator. Since I put payments per year was 12, it automatically put 12 for compounding per year. All right, then I say select N for PMT. It's already on N, as y'all can see. It's already highlighted as end. And it says select N for PMT because you will make payments after interest has been compounded. Step 5, go back to the PMT row. Go back to the PMT row. The first one, the fourth row from top. So that's the fourth row from top. Make sure this row is highlighted, blinking. As you can see, it's blinking right here. To calculate how much money per month you must pay for your house or your car, press alpha, enter. Alpha is this green button over here. So we're going to press alpha here, and enter is all the way down to the bottom right. Press enter. And notice it gives me negative $870.73 approximately. And that's just saying that's the money being expended per month that you are taking out of your account per month to pay for that mortgage. So let me highlight that. So the monthly payment for the house of $177,000 for 30 years at 4.25% is approximately $870.73. Please write dollars and cents. Okay, dollars and cents for this assignment. For the car, the end would be different, obviously. Let's just find a car so we can do an example. So we're on autotrader.com, for example, and I'm just gonna put a zip code in, and I'll just put any model, any make, see what happens. Okay, maybe I need to be more specific. I'm gonna go with new. All right, for minimum year, I'm gonna go with 2021. All right, I'm gonna hit coupe, and I want a red car, so I'm gonna hit red. So there are only 4 options. All right, let's go with this Ford Mustang. Notice that it's $39,760. So $39,760 would go where? That's definitely going to go where the PV is, because remember the last example, it was a house and the house was $177,000. But let's go all the way to the top. We don't want to pay for this car more than 4 years. So what would be capital N in months? It would be 48. So I'm going to hit 48 because that's 4 years times 12. And I want you to use, for example, this interest rate, and it could be different for someone else, but I wanted you to use 5.75 for this example, since you all are young, right? So the interest rate could be a little higher than expected. So 5.75. And then for PV again, we're going to put the amount of our car, which is $39,760. 39760, and the FV will stay the same, P/Y will stay the same, and the C/Y will stay the same. But when we go back to PMT, we're going to hit what again? Two clicks, 2 buttons, alpha, enter. So according to this, our monthly payment would be $929.21. That's a lot. That's a lot, right? Because we said 4 years, and that interest rate is kind of high, especially if this will be your first car. So $929.21 per month would be the car note. All right. I hope this helps. If you download an app, you can also use an app to come up with your monthly payment as well. So here's an example of an app that you can download to your phone. It's free. It's called Simple TVM, And it sort of kind of works backwards. What you have to do, for example, and I'm just gonna try to explain it to you so you can follow the instructions. So let's use that same example for a house. And what you're going to do, once you download it, you're going to put in, for example, type 177000, for example, 000, then hit PV for that. So it's sort of like you hit these things after you plug in the numbers. All right, for example, 360 months. So you hit 360, then capital N. Then for IR, that's interest rate, you'll click 4.25, then IR. Then I'm not sure if it matters, but I clicked on 0 if capital V, for example. Then once I had all of those values plugged in that I needed, the final button I hit was PMT. When you hit that PMT, you're going to see some numbers across this little row right here, right above the N, IR, PV, PMT, FV, which is kind of cool. It tells you what you plugged in for that. But when you hit PMT, it will give you negative 870.73 right up here. So you can download that app on your iPhone or iPad or whatever. All right, that concludes this tutorial on how to calculate your monthly payment for your house and car using a graphing calculator or an app such as Simple TBM.